Hey, if you ever thought, we are a young family, we want to escape the city, buy a home with a bit of land, and start farming. This episode is your instruction manual because buying a home with land is a different game than buying a condo. And a lot of Canadians, the thing that stops the deal isn't income. It's not even the down payment. It's one credit mistakes that makes you look risky on paper, even if you think you're doing everything right. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is and the simple steps to fix it. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Today is April 15, 2026. Beautiful spring day here in Headley, BC. And everyone that listened to the introduction, this is what the show is going to be about. We're going to talk credit. Before I start, here's a quick disclaimer. This is just an education purpose podcast, not personal finance advice. Every lender and every situation is different. So, having said that, we can get started with the show. Well, thank you. You're tuning in. Welcome back to Farmers in Finance. I am Rico Manazza, and I am a former farmer and I'm a real estate agent. So when I'm not doing the show, I'm helping people out there finding their farms. So if you need help with real estate, you know where to go. Another disclaimer is everything that I say in this show is not related to anyone or any person in particular. Everything that I experience, I will say so. I will not mention any names and keep everybody's privacy intact. So this is the show. I don't know if you're tuning in for the first time. I am live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can also listen to the shows if you miss it every week. We're at episode 28. I started off with my friend, buddy, and former farmer as well, Gaurav. But he's off to India and he's just about to return back to the land of Canada. And so he will be joining us soon enough. And I know everybody misses him. He's a great wealth of information. So last episode, what did we talk about? Ooh, I'm drawing a blank. Last episode, we were talking about planning ahead. Keep more money in the family. Oh, how could I forget? Oh, yeah, we were talking about taxes and it just went off in different tangents. And I hope that you enjoyed the show out there. It was quite full of interactions and tips and everything on how to navigate this beautiful season that we call the tax season, the place where we get our pocket picked by legitimate companies, not to mention any names here again. See, I don't want to be shadow banned or discredited or anything like that. So, but today is I kind of got the idea of this show by taking a client and going seeing our mortgage broker, Scott. I'm just going to mention his name, no plugs. He hasn't sponsored the show yet. So, but Scott, if you want to sponsor the show, you're welcome to. So any funds or to move things forward are greatly accepted. Anyways, so we were sitting there. I was sitting there with a client, and I got a huge lesson on credit and credit score, how to use it. Even though I remember it, and obviously when you go through real estate, you the number one thing is to approve your clients, but make sure that they are approved. And when it comes to purchasing any real estate or any big assets, and being financial advising, but not really certified. Another disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a financial associate with Experior Financials. So there it goes again. There's so many disclaimers because my advice could be taken the wrong way by the wrong people. Anyways, so I was sitting there with a client and I was learning about how to use the credit score. And I was like, man, I think everybody should know about this. Nobody teaches you this stuff. But I don't know. I never heard of it. And I've been in financial for about 2 years. And I've been in real estate for 3.5. And I did hear it, but it's just one, like, how life is. You get to go through it and you hear it, but it never like really sticks until you're really listening. Sometimes you have to really listen in order to understand what's being said. And sometimes, in life, you don't listen. I don't know if you ever listen to your mom or dad. Probably not. I mean, my kids are not listening to me, but that's another story. So today I want to start covering up and because it's all fresh. I don't prepare too much for these shows. I mean, I create nice slides and go through the roadmap and the outline and everything so that I'm not caught not knowing what I'm talking about. But I also want to learn from them, because if I teach the processes and what goes on, I can learn better. And then feel free at any time to add a comment or an opinion or anything. This is an open show, and it's more than welcome to add your comments. I mean, obviously you can't do it while you're listening to it, but if you could, even if you want to add comments later, I will post these on my channels and you can review them for your pleasure. And comments are welcome because it helps us grow and fight this. You can't reach financial freedom all by yourself. That's not possible. It's never done before. You always need somebody. You need help. You need assistance. You need people, and you have to have the proper relationships. So I'm not saying that I'm financially free. Don't take that the wrong way, but I am on the road and on the path, and what I learn, I teach it back, right? So in today's show, here's what we're going to cover today. First of all, how credit scores actually work in Canada. I am sorry for our neighbors, Americans that are watching this. Yes, just Canada, but most things apply, across the map, across probably the English sort of X domains, if you don't know what I mean, where the Queen set their foot. So probably that will apply in India too, but I will confirm with Gaurav what he says and what the institutions that are regulating and coming up with these wonderful numbers that it's called the credit score, how they base it. So then we're going to talk about Equifax, which is a company that does that collects the data, and versus TransUnion, and why your score can be different on both platforms. Number 3, we're going to talk about the number 1 mistakes that blocks your approvals. When I say approvals, is approvals for anything like a loan, line of credit, or a mortgage. And number 4, we're going to talk the step-by-step checklist to become mortgage ready for a home with land. Obviously, I want to talk, my audience is mainly farmers because I'm a former farmer and I know the pains, even when we first started, little story here. When we first started, and back 15, 16 years ago, yes, my son was born at the same time. Actually, it was 16 years ago in February when we moved to the farm, coming straight out of the city. I was living on 48th in Maine, beautiful little spot in Vancouver, and our backyard garden was getting too small. I had a beautiful exposure. I had, an income from downstairs from my legal suite that I made, I built, and I had a little bit of income from my top floor. It was a small bungalow, but I managed to get every single inch of square footage. So I'll go deep into that maybe in another episode. But anyways, what I did there, it was getting too small. So when you start looking at the bigger picture and what you want to do and your purpose, then we decided to go and purchase. And no, well, first we started looking at the Okanagan, because we thought, well, not we thought, it was and it is more sunshine, more possibility of growing different things like fruits. We loved the Okanagan fruits. Whenever we did our honeymoon, we came to the Okanagan, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. The lake, the fruit, summertime is just primo down here. So if you haven't experienced the Okanagan summer, I recommend it 100%. It's kind of like one of those things that you have to experience in order to know what I'm talking about. There's nobody that has ever left the Okanagan with a bad taste in their mouth. Anyway, so we wanted to come back, and the search for the land was unbelievable. So we looked at properties like from 800,000 vineyard to, I think it was 10 acres to down in the valley, close to the river, 3 acre at 350. And I let you guess which one we bought. Anyways, but yeah, and then the search for the land, but the lessons that we learned, the credit score, and fortunately, I was doing everything right. But if I was doing anything of these things wrong, I could have not possibly moved to the Okanagan, and my life would have been a lot different than it is. But anyways, that was a quick story. Let's go into the quote of the day. I love this quote. I had 2 seconds to take it. AI picked it for me, because AI is one of the greatest tools. Yeah, I know there's people out there that think, oh my God, it's going to take over. We're going to be governed. No, it's actually going to make everybody's life better. That's it. Simple. Don't be fearful of something that makes your life better. I mean, you're going around with your phone in your pocket. Did you really think that that was a bad thing back in the days? Yes. Okay, so quote of the day. I wonder if I have the slide for it. No, these are what we're going to talk about. Anyways, the best time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Huh? I used to be a roofer too, so I know exactly what that means. And you definitely don't want to repair the roof when it's raining. Oh, no, 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 no. It's so freaking slippery. It's unbelievable. I went on a roof that was raining, and it was like a crazy pitch, and because I forgot my wallet. And man, I remember that night. I was just like, oh man. And the wallet was just sitting right there at the windowsill, and I'm like, oh, there it is. And then I just sneaked up on the roof because I didn't want to disturb the homeowners. And I just went there and I slid. And then for whatever reason, I managed to catch the windowsill, pull myself up, sweat like a mad dog, and then get back onto the safe side of the roof. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. But anyways, yes, fix the roof when the sun is shining. What does that mean? Don't wait until you are in a deal or you're stressed. Like every show, every time I hear myself talk, it's like I gotta say, prepare, prepare, prepare. There's like so many things that you have to prepare in life. So prepare early and understand the process. And that's why, I'm trying to educate people I don't know it all, but I kind of want to help out because I know that there's a lot of people that don't know any of this stuff. Like last week we talked about taxes, but does anybody know where the GST goes or where the tax on gas is used for? Like there's so many different processes and nobody questions it. And I'm here to make questions, to create sort of like a evolution, no revolution. Did you know that every farmer started uh, or not every, there's no single farmer that started something, but it's always been the farmers that have started some type of a, let's call them revolutions, but technically it's like they want to change. They felt too much oppression from the kings and queens that were sitting up in their thrones and just more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. Okay, that's enough. No, we can't pay that many taxes. But, like you watch movies, did anything change? I don't know. If you want to start an evolution, give me a call. My number is scrolling, is it? No, it's just my email address. So send me an email or scan the QR code. Hopefully that's my Farmers in Finance website. I got multiple sites. I'm sure if you just Google me, you can find me on the internet. Just come out, reach out if you want to talk more about this stuff. Okay, let's get into it. The 4 C's. So this is practically an instruction manual, okay? It's simple. It's super simple to understand, but it's super powerful. And unfortunately, this is how the system works. So it's like we're playing a big Monopoly game, and you'll have to understand the rules. If you don't understand the rules, you can't play the game, and you will be out. So, if you wanted to buy, let's say, like I took a mock example because I wanted to niche out and make the proper adjustments. So so if you want to buy a farm, just like I was buying, 2 acres to 10 acres, that's pretty much like the perfect size, I would say, for becoming self-sufficient and have food freedom, so to speak. You need 2 hectares of land. And 2 hectares of land, I believe they are 8 acres. I got caught there. I don't know. How do we find out? I can ask here. How many acres are in an hectare? Acres are in an hectare. Oh, hopefully it will. It says how many acres are in an hectare. Text to speech. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Anyways, so while we wait for the answer, I will call it the 4 C's. Okay, 4 C's. 4 C's. C's. The symbol. I don't know if you're watching this. Credit. Number 1 is credit, and we'll talk about this. Capacity. Capacity underline meaning income. Oh, okay. Here came the answer. So 1 hectare is 2.471 acres. Okay, so 5 acres of land is the perfect land that if you farmed, you can produce enough for a family of 4. Okay, these are numbers that I pulled out when I was studying how many acres I had to buy. So I know, and 5 acres of land is a lot of land. Let me tell you, I had 7.5, and it was a lot of land, definitely. And you can plant it like so intensive, but like in a way that there is, a balance between everything. Like you can have fruit trees, and then you can have your low bushes, like your blueberries, your haskaps do really well here. Not so much blueberries. Blueberries are more for the coast. But you can have like a food forest, and you would have it so seasonal that every single maturing fruits or vegetable will mature at different times, and it won't overcast or overshadow the different plantings that you have done and you strategize. For more of that, I don't know. I like to teach that too because that was a passion of mine. Like especially when I was looking at these progresses and how to conserve water. One of the biggest lessons I got on farm when I came to the Okanagan was water. Water is like the number one source and essential for life. And so in Vancouver, it's abundant. It comes from everywhere. There's water, there's the ocean, there is the rain, there is the rivers, there's the forest, there's even water that it's just moisture in the air. That's water. So it's like, and water is like a great conductor. It's one of the best conductors. That's from the engineering side of things. And for energy to transduce, here's a little tip. For energy to transduce, you need water in the air because plants don't just run on sunlight, they run on water and they run on energy, just like our bodies. We run on energy, we don't run on sugars. Our bodies change the sugars into energy, and that energy is called ATP. And so it's like little impulses, right? Like your muscle contracts because of the size of how many cells you have, and that energy is transduced. You know how much power you can exert, and obviously, yeah, there is leverage because our arms are different lengths, and you're just a big guy, and maybe you're a small guy and short legs, and you got to move faster than the big guy with big legs because he's got torque. But anyways, okay, so where was I? Credit, capacity, income, capital. This is for what if you're buying, the farm. Down payment and reserves. Always gotta have reserves, people. If I'm gonna plug myself in again, if you want a free, I say completely free financial look at your finances, I'm here. I offer free financial analysis for anyone that asks. So that's the first step. You got to get over your shyness and start asking for help. We all need help. I need help. I always ask for help. Coaches, mentors. I got a lot big lineup. And okay, so that was just a plug. Come to my website, sign up, give me a shout, email, phone. My phone number is 236-457-4230. Any marketer out there, please don't call me. I'm sick of you. Anyways, collateral, the property itself, that becomes the collateral. That's what the asset that you're going to borrow against with your mortgage. So today we're going to go credit centric because credit is the domino that stops people first. Yes. Oh man, I have had so many talks with first time buyers that it's kind of like, I wish I could help you, but you couldn't get your credit properly fixed. And this is another reason why I'm sticking with finance advising, but I'm not advising financial help, because it's whenever there's somebody, oh, I want to get out of my rent, and then how much rent are you paying? Oh, I'm paying $1,200, $1,500. Okay, that's 150. By the way, that translated, that's about 150 to 200,000 with today's rates of a mortgage, right? And so they're renting, a one bedroom, two bedrooms, maybe at the most. In some places, maybe Oliver or Osoyoos, you might get that. But when they go and they're like, okay, what can I afford? And then all of a sudden they go and sit down like I did with my clients and they get the spiel about their credit score and how they leverage the credit, utilization, and everything that we're going to talk about. They get, oh, what? I did not know this. Yeah. And no wonder why the average first time buyer age is now up to 44. 44. Okay, that's insane. I bought my first place when I was 19. And now poor people out there, they can't even afford it. Like we're in totally different times. And it's getting worse. But why? Because nobody's saying anything. Everybody's head down now. Like now, people they're not saying anything, but they're not doing anything now. You know, like the whole economy is like, I don't know if you notice it, but it's starting to slow down. Jobs are still there, but it's just that jobs are not keeping up with the affordability of the home. Diesel, thanks to the war, like seriously, we're another plug here because this is comes true. You know, like we and it's a live show, so I can do whatever I want. Okay, if I go in tangents, it's my show. I'll pay for it later. But we started like there's wars right now. It's like little kids. No, this is mine. No, it's mine. I want it. Oh, I'm gonna shoot you with my missiles. Like beep, 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 beep. You know, like really, with the technology that we have, with everything that we know, we're still playing wars with different races. Man, can we just play along? Again, I said it one time in another show, and it needs to be out there in the air now. Did you know that back in the days, and this is passed on orally, and it's not in any book? I wonder why. But when I was sitting in one of the circles, the talking circles, again, this was a story I mentioned before in another episode, maybe it was last episode. But anyways, I was sitting in a talking circle, and the natives used to have a lot of these because that's how they passed on information, and this is how they talked about things and how they resolved issues. They just put themselves in a circle, and each one had their turn. And then they could speak freely about whatever they thought and whatever was going on. Okay? So this one old grandmother came about and said, it used to be that there were 700 years of peace between the tribes. 700 years of peace between the tribes. And what kind of level of technology was there? We don't know. We don't know anything, man. The powers to be, whoever's doing this, whoever's controlling, has fooled us, has us on a merry-go-round, and keeps us bringing us down. And you can see it right now with the war. It just doesn't make any sense. The wars don't make sense. It's just like grown men acting like children, that they can't resolve anything. Like, I mean, there's so many great people. There's so many great minds. Another plug here. I'm starting to read this book. I just started today because I love negotiations, right? And this is Getting More by Stuart Diamond. But I've read already the biggest. Where is it? There it is. Getting More. Anyways, you can find that on my website, ricardomanazza.com. And then if you want to buy it and read it with me, I'm more than happy to talk about it. But my favorite was from Chris Voss, Never Split Difference. Freaking amazing book and amazing person. So if you don't know who Chris Voss is, please research. He's like the master of negotiation, and he does the radio voice. You'll find out what that means. Anyways, it's just that we're little children, but we have everything, you know, like there's no differences. Anyways, what I wanted to say is there is 700 years of peace. If you knew that, if they taught you that in school, that there were 700 years of peace between the tribes and the trades were going on long before Columbus came to America, that's another freaking history. Whoever wants us to control our minds, you know, people were trading way before Columbus. And I believe that. I believe that everything that they taught us is just bullshit. And I am not happy of my kids being in the schooling system because it's called schooling. Schooling is just to amalgamate the minds and control them, just like government control the mind. Anyways, I'm going off in a tangent and I'm not helping you out here. But I was just gonna end this, and if you knew that there were 700 years of peace, and where would you place them? Where are they? Just it. Okay, now let's get back to the show. Canada credit basics. So there is Equifax. Let me see the slides here. Yeah, Equifax versus TransUnion and how they monitor. So, what is Equifax? Okay, that's a great question. I will add it to the stage because I want to know as well. Uh, uh, there it is. Sorry about that. So the difference between Equifax and TransUnion comes down to data sources, scoring models, and reporting timing. So they're both credit bureaus, okay? So, but they don't see your financial life in the exactly same way, okay? So, and it's important because what we're gonna go through and determine your score, it's important, and there's different ways of tracking it, and I will suggest the number one way to track it and keep on top of it because this is important. You know, I know it doesn't matter when you're 20 and stuff, but as soon as you get your first credit card, you're getting a credit score. You're getting uh, you're getting watched and monitored. So the number one is they collect data from different lenders. Both bureaus gather information from banks, credit card companies, and lenders, but not all lenders report to both, right? So that's very important because Equifax will have different data than TransUnion, but they're both, like weighed down in different ways because when a lender looks at your credit and your credit score, they will look at both. So you want to have both nice and high. High meaning a score. We'll talk about that soon too. But number two is your score is calculated differently. So they have, like anything, there's different ways that you can calculate your credit score. And each bureau uses its own version of credit scoring models, even if both may use variation of FICO or proprietary models. That means your payment history might be weighed slightly different. So payment history meaning how often you make your payments on your credit cards, your credit utilization might impact each score differently. What is credit utilization? It's you are given a credit card and say your limit is 2,000. Your credit utilization is how much of your $2,000 you are using currently and how much you are paying it down, right? So I'll speak about this in another later on. And then length of your credit history may not be identical. So I started my credit startup when I was 15. It starts when you start getting your first financial account, bank account, and so it starts there, and then it goes with anything like loans or payments or your banking history. How many times you move? Oh my God, that one affected my credit score for ages. Every time you move, it's like ding, ding, take off your score, right? And I moved a lot. I don't know why. I moved here from Italy. That was my first move. They broke the cherry. My parents broke the cherry. Personal information can vary slightly. So again, like I was speaking, address history, employment details, name variations. I had one credit card that instead of saying Manazza said Mamazza. And for the longest time, that credit card didn't register on my Equifax. I had to report it. And because I was watching my credit back in the days, because I knew about some of the stuff, then I made them put it on my credit score because, I had more credit. I had more credit space and I was utilizing it in a better way, right? So I was paying it off pretty much. So everything changes, right? Like there's so many different things. And also a lot of people get fraudulent, and so somebody might take your identity and apply for a credit card, and all of a sudden on your credit score there is a credit card. Or if you have a common name like John Smith, holy shit, man, you better be careful. But it's all regulated. In Canada, there's this thing called the SIN number. SIN, SIN, social insurance number. And that keeps you sort of, if you keep using it properly and you don't give it away, that it's pretty much how they keep track of your uh, transactions and credit applications and any kind of applications, your work, your job, anything like that. Number 5 is inquiry. Every time you do, there's different types of inquiries. There's a soft one, and then there is a hard one. The soft one, it's okay. It doesn't hurt your credit, but it's still recorded every time you look at it, except if you're using these one tools that I'm going to talk about. Okay. And some lenders will pull an Equifax credit check, and those are pretty hard. Right? Results hard inquiries can appear on one report, but not on the other. And TransUnion doesn't really see the Equifax sees all the hard inquiries, because that means, especially tying back to the quote, the wrong time to repair your roof is when it's raining. So the wrong time to repair your credit and get more utilization, it's when you're maxed out on your credit. That is a big one. And that is one thing that my client learned is, if you're given credit by whoever, the bank gives you line of credit, personal line of credit, or the credit card company sends you are pre-approved for a $5,000 credit card, take it. Take it. Don't think it's the devil. Your credit will benefit, because then you have more credit. And if you use it, you got to use it for daily purchases. And where the discipline comes in, you got to pay it off, right? You got to keep paying it off and keep your credit utilization at low levels, right? And then that will benefit you in the long run, because your credit score, what's it going to do? Go up, up, and up. So the real world impact, this is where it matters for you. When you are applying for a mortgage, getting finance, or qualifying a client, the lender will choose one bureau or pull both. And that's what this lender did. Scott, thanks. He pulled both. And so he said that. And yeah, anyways, but that is what Equifax and TransUnions do. But one thing that you should learn from this is definitely keep checking your credit. Okay, so next slide now. What do we got? What drives your credit score? Okay, so we talked about it a little bit, but we'll talk about more about the ingredients. How credit is determined. This is kind of like the recipe that they use, right? So the 5 ingredients that are used, and I already mentioned this, it's your payment history. Okay, so in life, you have to borrow money for buying things. We are in a monopoly game. And when we land on land, or we need to purchase a car, or to do anything, sometimes we borrow. Sometimes when we were good, when we were young, we would just save up, right? But even if you saved up, you're not going to put that money under your pillow and not let it grow. I hope not. If you are, please come and give me a call, because that is destroying your assets, right? So it's actually bringing your money down, because there's this little thing that I talked about in previous shows, and it's called inflation. And how inflation is created, it's up for debate. Don't take this because I'm on a show and I have the authority, but please double check on this and come back to me. But inflation is created because when you go get a loan, you put a collateral in, which is either your income or your assets, or for say when it's a mortgage, you have the collateral of the house that you're buying. That becomes the collateral, and that's why they can put a charge on the title. So now um, you're gonna utilize that to leverage, and guess what? The person at the bank says, okay, yes, it looks like because of your credit score and your asset that you're going to leverage this on, we appraised it, it's more than the value, and they say, okay, we'll give you 80% on loan, or 95, depends if it's insured or not, and we'll give you the money for it. And you just make a promissory note that you're going to pay it back. What does the bank do? Takes that promissory note, that contract, and it's right there. It's called a promissory note. And takes that contract, brings it to the printing machine, and prints up the money unregulated. And it gives you the money. So now, because you applied for that loan, there's more money in circulation. And that goes with any loans, even the government loans. Hello. Why does the government borrow so much money? Oh, we're in so much debt. Nobody can keep the debt down. That's because they drive inflation up. And what does inflation does? More money in circulation just means less purchasing power with that dollar. Do you like? There's so many examples in Africa where inflation skyrocketed, where it went that their monetary system just collapsed, and for a time being it was chaos, but because they didn't have any solutions. And always the solutions are going to be offered by the people that want more control and more power. So stay tuned, there will be some offering. But anyways, I don't want to divulge too much, but I'm just saying inflation, if you keep your money under your pillow, it's going to be eaten up. So as you have seen, I don't know if you're 20, if you're 20 years old, you must have felt it too. When you were buying a pop for $1 and now you're buying it for $2.25, that's called inflation. Your money lost half its purchasing power, right? When houses used to cost 80,000 to 100,000 and now they're $1 million, that's called inflation, right? It has something to do with affordability and everything, but it's mainly due to inflation. And then when you plan your retirement, $50,000 now in 20, 30, depending on when you retire, are going to be worth 10, hopefully. But anyways, this is the system we're in. We're hitting a hard reset right now, and that's what probably is happening with you. And if you need help with debt, please give me a call. I got lots of places to go where we can remediate all your credit cards problems. So most credit scoring comes down to 5 ingredients. Let's go back to it. Payment history, utilization, that's how you use your credit and how you keep it down below a certain level. Age of the credit, how long have you had that credit for? The longer, the better, because that means you're disciplined and you can actually do it. And then number 4, credit mix. You got a line of credit, you got credit cards, you got car loans, you got a mortgage. You are wonderful. You are a law-abiding citizen and you have wonderful credit. And guess what? When you go to the bank, they're like, yeah, this person knows how to pay it, knows what they're doing. So they will give you and print you more money. New credit and inquiries. So if you want more credit, like there was a point in my life where I needed more credit, but thankfully they didn't give it to me, because or else I would have spun down the same road as most of Canadians are at. And inquiries. The more inquiries you make, the more applications you make, those affect your credit. So let's call them, these are like the levers or the ingredients to making the perfect um, credit recipe. So when you go and you stand in front of a lender, or you go and you stand in front of a mortgage broker, or you go and stand in front of a realtor, and you are just like, I'm ready for this. This is when you understand the recipe, just like baking a cookie. You're ready for the cookie. Checking your own credit through a monitoring app is usually not the same as a hard inquiry. Let's make that straight, okay? So the monitoring app that I recommend is Credit Karma. It's a quick sign up. They ask you a couple of questions, what you make, blah, 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 because they want to find you on their system, and they use TransUnion. And once they find you, they can tell you everything about your credit score and how it's based. But when we went to the mortgage broker, he used Equifax. So Equifax is a little bit, let's say, a little bit more hard, because most lenders rely on Equifax, so they have to be a little bit more strict. TransUnion gives you the good news, and you're happy that you're bringing your score up. But then when you go to Equifax, that's where the big guys are at. Okay. Now, what do we got? The 30-day quiet period. Okay, let's go to the next. Oh, number one mistake. Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. I got my notes here. The 30-day to 90-day quiet period. Okay. So if you're planning to buy a property, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Okay. So now the 30 days to 90 days, this is a little bit of a strategy that we enforce, and we try to help you out with this. Called the quiet period is because don't do anything. Don't buy a car. Don't change addresses unless you're going to buy a home. Obviously, you're going to change addresses, but don't change addresses in the quiet period, and do a quick cleanup. So if you're thinking of buying in the next 6 or 12 months, just treat the next 30 to 90 days, even if after you hear this, just go quiet, meaning don't start any new applications. Check your vehicle finances, your loans, everything, your credit cards, and stay on top of that. Like, don't definitely don't max out your cards. That looks so bad, and even at this point, I don't know if they're checking even when you're renting. They check your bank accounts, right? So if you have everything maxed out and you have no money in your bank account, do you think you're going to find a place to live? It's tough, right? So you got to stay disciplined, right? And don't say I'll pay it off later. Just pay it now. Start with the highest level of interest credit cards. But anyways, that's that correction. That's another show. Um, uh, Pull a report, but pull a soft inquiry, and try both. Try to see your Equifax. Just give them a call. Most of the times when you actually call them, they don't do anything hard, because they're just telling you the information on the phone. And then call TransUnion or use Credit Karma. That's a great app. And then look, just go through it. Look for wrong balances, like check your credit cards, make sure that the balances are reflected. Obviously, you got to give them a little bit of leeway. It depends on the cycle. Some of them are slow to update, but make sure that they're around the same. When you get your statement, make sure that those numbers are reflected either in the previous month or the past month, so then you know that everything is legit. And don't miss payments. That's the biggest one. Missed payment takes a huge huge cut. If you have to, just do minimum payments, but don't miss them. A payment default it's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Okay. Okay, so let's go into the next number one mistake, and this is what we found out at our meeting is utilization. And utilization meaning that my client wanted to had closed a credit card because she got mad at them. They were running around and just bad communication. And he said, well, this is actually a big mistake. You don't want to close credit cards. You want to keep them open, and you want to have, like I said before, the recipe was the credit history. You want to have a long credit history. Even if you're not using it, it's still good because you're not using it. You're not like credit hungry. You don't go on shopping spree or buy stupid stuff that you're going to regret later that you bought it, you know? So credit utilization mistakes are the number one cause that bring down your credit. Oh my God, we're 51 minutes. And then also your statements. On your statement, there is payment due by. That date should be like an alarm. You got to have like 5 days reminder before that date. I set it up all the time. All my credit cards, I get a reminder on my phone. I have an alarm set up that it's like, okay, you got to pay it. If it's the whole payment or if it's the minimum payment, just got to pay it because you don't want to get dinged. You want to keep your credit score up because the higher, the better. Okay. So number one rule is your utilization. So if you have a credit card of let's say $2,000, at least keep it at 1,000. Okay. Don't 50% is okay. Okay. 30 is great. 10, it's you're an amazing guy. So utilize it, keep it at that level, but don't get any higher than that because your credit score will be affected. And if you go apply for a no-loan mortgage, you know what they're going to say. Pay the card down before the statement date. Huge, right? Like you don't want to just leave it at the due date, right? You want to pay it down way before. And guess what? You're not getting charged interest. So there's 30 days leeway on credit cards. You make a purchase now, you can have the time to manifest that money coming into your life. But anyways, that's another topic as well. Next. Okay, so you get it? Any questions on that? I don't see any. Okay, let's move on. So just to summarize that, 10% is the best possible scenario, 30% is good, and 50% it's okay, but not higher than that, okay? Don't go pretty high. And then if you're gonna go high, I'm making the suggestion, maybe try to apply for a credit card, but you know, because if you're good, and don't apply for credit if you're going to apply for a mortgage. Because you think, oh, I'm going to have a credit card and then I can do the down payment. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Credit card payments is a mortgage down payment. It's a totally different ball game. You got to save it up, okay? And then put it in an investment account. There's TFSAs, there's RSPs. You can protect it tax free, you know, or you can even start your own bank. And I've talked about this. And if you start at your own bank, by the way, you don't need a credit score. You're your own bank, right? So you make the decision. You based on your discipline and everything like that. Anyways, if you want to know more, you know how to reach me. Payment history. Do I have a slide for that? How to fix utilization fast. Let's look at that. Keep utilization under 30%. Make multiple payments per month. Yeah, that's a good practice actually. Whenever you're paying taxes, I mean your credit card, make multiple payments. They'll show up, and then you are, first of all, if you're starting with a bad credit and you're trying to repair it, then that's probably the best way. And then pay before your statement date. Don't get them to give you warnings or anything like that. 5 days, it's edgy, but pay 2 weeks maybe. It makes it even better. Okay. And then avoid maxing out your cards. Okay. That's great advice. Thank you. Um, okay. So now, payment. Oh, the quiet period. I had slides for this. See how bad I am? Anyways, uh, payment history. Well, we talked about this. Like it's about paying it on time, making the proper payments. Uh, don't apply everywhere, and then just build consistency. A plan and plan. Like at the beginning of this show, and then the quote ties it all in, right? Like you wanna um, make sure that you are properly set up, and don't fix the roof when it's raining. Okay, don't build a roof, don't change your roof. um, Inquiries, age and mix. So these, we scrolled a little bit through it, but age of the credit, that's a pretty good one, but it's not like super heavy. I mean, when I did destroy my credit once, because I went a little crazy. And so how I did it to bring it back is I applied for a prepaid credit card. And this is how you can restore your credit. You gotta apply for a prepaid. You put a certain amount on it, and that's the amount that you have. And that builds up your credit fast if you're utilizing it, obviously, if you're using it for your business and putting all the payments through it. And then at the end of the month, you pay it back up and you bring up your credit again. And that does huge on impact. I was able to recover my credit in 2 years, when most of the times it takes 7 years. And then I was able to purchase again another property because I restored my credit from 400. I think the lowest I went was 420, which is pretty bad. A good score is 700 above, and that's what lenders look at. That's just a quick note because we're running out of time here. So capacity. Capacity is the income for a young family income realities. Connect the credit to the real world of qualifying, especially with the land. Our credit is the domino, but lenders also care about capacity. Can you service the debt? What does that mean? Can you cover it? Can you pay for everything that you live off of? The childcare, the vehicles, the groceries, and much more, right? Like the repairs, anything that you need, the cell phone bills and everything. That matters because that's your monthly picture, and we create budgets for you here at Experia Financials. So if you ever need help with that, let's create a budget, see where everything is going, and then we create a payment plan based on your income that will reduce your credit utilization, and then it'll up your score. Okay. So especially with farmers, the income is seasonal, so we borrow a lot in the spring, and then we gotta be strict and disciplined to pay it at the end of the season when the harvests come in. And don't go on spending spree and be like, oh, I'm gonna need a new vehicle, or I'm gonna need a new tractor. No. All right, now collateral. This is the farm itself. So nowadays, you know how a lot of people, when they go buy, they're like, oh, I'm going to get the mortgage helper. It's so-called the mortgage helper. It can be applied also in farming. Oh, I'm going to get, a suite downstairs or an extra room or an extra spot. Now there's short-term rental, so you can even build a little extra cabin, right? Like on the property, and then just rent it out and make some extra income. Okay, so we're running out of show, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Here's a rapid fire checklist and summary and call to action. Please book a call. It's free. Let's look at your credit, see how you do. So number one, pull both bureaus, fix the arrows, all the errors early, so you know where your credit stands. Right? That's your foundation. Automate minimum payments. Set up your recurring bill payments um, on your bank account, and just automate them. $100, $100 makes a huge difference. Now, your goal is to keep your utilization under 30%, ideally 10%. You got to pay before the statement due date. That's a big one, right? Don't open random credit card near any application. That's a huge one. Don't close old accounts impulsively because you think that, oh, uh, I don't need this one, or because you think that by clearing your credit, that's what's going to help. No, actually, that hurts it, right? You want to keep everything open and in plain sight so that when they look at it, they're like, okay, he's got, $50,000 in credit. Perfect. Keep your paperwork clean if income is mixed or seasonal, right? So keep it all clean, separated. This is a huge lesson I learned a while back when I was purchasing an investment property, is don't mix your incomes together, especially when you're multiple. And you have to be in multiple nowadays because that's the squeeze. Credit is not magic. It's habits, right? It's mindset, it's habits, and it's timing, right? You got to time it properly, and you got to enter the market at the right time. And the number one mistake is high utilization showing up on the statement. That's number one. This is what this show was about. And thank you for watching what we did. Oh, 1 minute and 2. Sorry for taking you so long of your time. I appreciate you being here. This is Farmers in Finance. I am Rico, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you're watching this in the future, you're listening on to the different podcasts, Apple Podcast, all that, give me a call if you need help. We're all here in this together. That's the slogan I got from COVID. It's okay. It's okay to ask for credit. Nobody learned this. When I'm going through this journey, and I'm just learning every day. I'm learning about finances. Oh, look at that. The sun is shining. Wow, cool. Enjoy this day. Anyways, I don't want to drag on. Enjoy this day. Thank you for tuning in. You're great. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and hope to see you. Oh, next week I won't be putting on the show. I'll put it here. I'm going to the EXP conference, so I won't be putting on a show. And it'll be 2 weeks from now, episode 29. So stay tuned. I will post it on the different platforms. Come on in. Enjoy. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Rico, I know.